Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and happy 2021, everybody. We're finally past 2020. What a bad and good year at the same time. In fact, the good things about this last year is, as a community, as a film community on YouTube, we grew stronger, and I really love that. The other thing we were able to do is that we were spoiled with Blu-ray releases. In fact, at the end of this video, I'm going to showcase with you 5 releases from 2020 that I really loved. But before we do that, let me jump into my channel announcements. I want to talk about what the slate, the preview of 2021 will look like on the Nathan Jones channel. And so I'm excited to hear what you think of what's to come. But before we jump into that announcement, tell me in the comment section down below, what are you most excited about in 2021? Could be just a general question, but I'm kind of curious to know what you're excited about. So tell me down in the comment section down below. Now let's jump right into my announcements. So some announcements for the channel. As many of you might know, I'm trying to scale back as best as I can and trying to watch as many of the films that I already own. And so I'm going to be trying to collect a little bit less and focusing on the stuff that I already collect. Now, as somebody who loves collecting, this is going to be very difficult. In fact, I have a lot of my friends who are maybe doing the same thing. And they're going to try to hold me to it, but at the same time, it's going to be really hard not to collect things. So I'm going to be doing Blu-ray hauls still on the channel, but it'll be near the end of the month. I'm still going to showcase that with you. But yeah, I'm excited to still buy Blu-rays and still showcase them with you. But on top of those Blu-ray hauls, I'm also still going to be doing a Q series, or my recommendation series of the things that I'm currently watching, some old favorites, or maybe some new discoveries that I'm watching at the time, and I would love to show with what I'm watching at the current moment with all of you, and that's going to continue, and that's always going to be a mainstay on the channel. The other thing that's going to continue is the film and book journey series, stuff that I love doing. I've met so many wonderful people in the community, and I'm still meeting so many wonderful people in the community, and I'm just blown away by the amount of different voices that we have and a lot of the different discoveries and journeys that they're all going on. It's just really fascinating to talk to people, and I love it. And as somebody who teaches public speaking, that's something that I really love, is that I love seeing the confidence and people to kind of come up and really kind of share their vision and what they're doing in their life. And it's always so rewarding to listen to other people talk, and I don't like to talk all the time. So besides that, I might even jump into a music journey series. If anyone's interested, tell me in the comment section down below if you would like to see that, because music is another thing in my life that is super huge, and I would love to talk about music, and I would love to hear the stories of my friends and talk about their music journeys as well. That would be a lot of fun. But besides that, there's a few other old favorites coming back, I think, for 2021 that I'm really excited about. The first one is, hopefully, with my friend Chris Hurtado, Hurtastic Reviews. I would love to continue the Unboxing Bergman series. Now, with that being said, I'm trying to hold Chris to this, but if he's not available, I'm still going to try to do this. I want to watch all the Bergman films. I have them. I have the box set up there. I kind of put a pause a few years ago, and I really want to finish that. I want to finish each of the Bergman films in that set, and I've loved every one of them, and I would love to have a discussion with Chris with those. But if that's not going to be possible, that's also going to be a thing. But kind of on a similar note, I'm also going to be trying to unbox the Varda set, the complete films of Agnes Varda. I'm going to be doing this with my roommate Palmer, and Palmer loves Varda, and I'm so excited to jump in it with him. He's been on the channel before, and I'm just really excited to jump into the set. In fact, this would make my honorable mentions lists for releases for the 2020 Blu-rays. But yeah, I haven't seen any of Varda's films, and so I'm super pumped to jump into her films and kind of go on this journey and discover a lot of gems that I probably am going to be blown away by. But yeah, that's kind of a preview of the Bergman and Varda sets. This are some old and new discoveries that I'm going to be put together for 2021. Another old favorite of mine is the 100 Years of Movie series that I did a few years ago. Back when I talked about from 1918 to 2018, I talked about my favorite film for each of those years, and I did about 10 videos back in 2018, just talking about each of those years and my favorite films from those specific years. But this time around, I want to try to do this with my friends that I've met through the community. I want to know what their favorite films are for those years. And so I think for the coming year, I want to try to do a decade at a time, maybe from like 1920 to 1930, 30 to 40, etc., etc. And I'm going to have a new guest on and talk about their favorite films of those years, and maybe switch it up a little bit, have some new discoveries and new questions, and think about it as like a collaborative effort, and look at our favorite films from those time periods, and look at the history of what's going on during that time in the industry, or any actors or directors or whoever is involved during that time period. I would love to kind of showcase that and revitalize the 100 Years of Movie series with my friends. I would love to do that. And then most recently is my Hammer Journey series. I'm finally going down the Hammer rabbit hole. I loved going through the Dracula films last year with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and recently, one of the latter videos that I did, I unboxed that Fear Warning Hammer Indicator box set behind me, and I really loved it. And so I'm going to try my best to get as many Hammer films as possible and watch as many as possible, and kind of show you my discovery of each of these Hammer films. And so some of them are going to be a lot of them are going to be first time watches, like 75% of them are, maybe 90%, I don't even know, but some of them are going to be returning, and I'm just super excited to jump into those and kind of showcase with you where I'm at and what I think of each of these films. And yeah, I'm excited to jump into more Hammer. In fact, off screen right now, I actually have this box set playing right now. I'm on the third film here, Full Treatment, and so I'm excited to jump into those. But those are the announcements for the channel at the current moment. In fact, I have a few things in the works that haven't been confirmed yet, but I'm really excited to jump in this new year. And tell me down in the comment section down below, are you excited about any of these things? I'm also kind of curious, is there anything you would like to see me do on the channel? Because I would love to hear your input and see if I could potentially do something that the viewer would love to do and see through my channel, and I would love to do that as well. So now that we have that out of the way, let's jump into my 5 releases of 2020 that I really enjoyed, my favorite Blu-ray releases of the year, in no particular order. I'm not ranking them. These are just things that I really enjoyed back in 2020, and I want to showcase them with you. So let's just jump into it. That honorable mention is still the Varda set, but the first thing that I want to talk about is one film out of kind of a series of films that Scream Factory put out. They've been doing a lot of the Hammer releases, and so I want to talk a little bit about Kronos Vampire Hunter, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. This is one of the later Hammer films from 1974. I've seen this. This was a gift from my roommate, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and I'm probably going to be covering this film a little bit down the road in 2021 when I get to the 70s, because this is near the end of Hammer's reign. But I really loved this release. I'm really happy that Scream Factory was able to put out a lot of Hammer films, like Bride's Dracula, Curse of the Werewolf, etc. A lot of them came out in 2020, and 2021 is looking really prime for a lot of Hammer films, and so I'm very excited for that. But Captain Kronos, it's like Van Helsing and Batman, and like all these different combinations together, and I really love it. It's really fun. It's one of the more swashbuckling adventure films that you would get from Hammer. But yeah, this is definitely one of the highlights of 2020 for me, is jumping into this film, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. If you haven't seen this or picked up any of the Hammer releases from Scream Factory, definitely do so, because it's just a wonderful Blu-ray release. All right, next is a Criterion release, and this is the first time I've really dived into this person's work. I'm talking about Bruce Lee, His Greatest Hits. I was in love with this box set when I blind bought it, and I've only really seen The Way of the Dragon, and I really didn't know what to expect, and I was blown away by each of the films in this. There's 5 films in this set. There's The Big Boss, The Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death, and I just loved each and every one of them. And there's so many great special releases, special edition extra features in this set, and I think Criterion did a fantastic job of showcasing who Bruce Lee was, and a lot of the things that went behind the scenes of him and his early death. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of love put into this set, and it's just one of those the best releases of 2020. And I know a lot of other people have mentioned this release, and so it's not really, I'm kind of treading on stuff that people have already talked about, but this is definitely one to buy if you haven't bought it yet, because it's certainly a great release. Moving right along, after the Bruce Lee box set is another Criterion release that came out earlier this year that I just absolutely fell in love with. I was blown away and surprised by it. The Three Fantastic Journeys of Carol Zeman, by Carol Zeman. I really love this box set and this release. The only thing I don't like about this release maybe is the flimsy packaging, but it's still designed very beautifully, and I love the 3D effects of this. And speaking of the 3D effects, let me show you real quick. There's Journey to the Beginning of Time, which I actually have a memory of when I was a lot younger. I watched the American version of this. This is these are Czech films from Karel Zeman. But I remember watching the American edition of it back in the day when I was obsessed with dinosaurs. There's Invention for Destruction, which is a nice little thriller, noir kind of things. Not a noir, it's like a mystery science fiction thing. And then the fabulous Baron Munchausen right there, the cannon. It's a really cool design set, but it also has just amazing special features from Criterion, and I was blown away by it. It has some shorts from Karel Zeman, and just it shows you the love and passion of this filmmaker and the creativity that this person had. And this is absolutely one of those sets that just blew me away. It probably is my favorite Criterion release of the year. And I love it, and I can't, recommend it enough. So yeah, the 3 Fantastic Journeys by Karel Zeman. Certainly buy this set because it's just so much fun. Besides that, let's jump into a ESPN 30 for 30. Moving right along is an ESPN 30 for 30, The Last Dance, and I was able to get this set. Oh my God, this is a documentary series, a 10-part documentary series that blew me the hell away. Good God, I love basketball now. This is something that's very new in my life. In fact, I've been watching the new NBA season, and I've just been really enjoying it. But like a lot of people are like, "Oh, why do you like sports now?" It's because of The Last Dance. And I remember back in 1998 when I was growing up and watching the last season of the Chicago Bulls run, championship reign, with my dad. I remember watching it, and this set is really, really cool. In fact, this set, I watched this on, I didn't watch it on Netflix, I watched it on ESPN when it was on there, but now it's on Netflix. So if you want to check it out, definitely do so before you buy it, but it's a really cool set. So let me show you the set real quick. It's got a really awesome design to it. In fact, it's probably going to fly when it opens up. But it just shows you this amazing set that has 10 episodes in it, and a lot of cool additions in it. There's actually a lot of new footage in this particular one with some interviews and amazing other things too. So right here is a timeline of the entire event of the series, and all 6 championships that they've won, and the rafters, and kind of gives you just a rundown of everything in the set. And it's just such an amazing thing. And if you're not even into sports, it's still really compelling. And I that's something I really, really love about it. But yeah, there's Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan right there. And good God, this is so cool. And yeah, this is the reason I'm back into basketball. So yeah, The Last Dance is certainly worth it, and you should definitely check it out. So last but certainly not least, because this was in no particular order, I also want to talk about this right here. My first Indicator Hammer box set and my first Indicator release that I picked up. In fact, behind me, you can tell in 2020, I was a little obsessed with Indicator, and I'm so happy that I am. But yeah, this was my first release that I got. This is Hammer Volume 5, Death and Deceit. It's got Visa de Canton, The Pirates of Blood River, The Scarlet Blade, and The Brigand of Kandahar. And I've seen each of these films, and I know I'm talking to you in the past. I've watched each of these films, but I want to talk in the future about them during my Hammer journey, so I'll revisit them. But man, this was the year for Indicator for me. In fact, I picked up so many other releases, but I had to showcase this one because this was my first. This was my first one, and I just fell in love with it. And the packaging and design, the people who are behind Indicator are in love with films, and I cannot wait to get more of their releases. And hopefully a lot of them are more region friendly. Now, for me, I have a region free player, and so I can watch these. This is a UK company, but I'm expanding in the companies that I really, really enjoy. And so I definitely wanted to bring in Indicator and Hammer. I definitely wanted to bring in Indicator in the conversation with some of my releases for 2020. But what about you? What are your favorite releases for 2020? I want to know in the comment section down below. I'm sure you're like, well, where the heck is the Friday the 13th box set, or the Camera box set, or Crash? In either Criterion or the 4K from Arrow. There's a lot of things I didn't mention, but I didn't get them, and that's okay. But I want to know down in the comment section down below what you picked up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can leave a comment down below and tell me your thoughts on what the future of 2021 will look like. Give this video a like, share, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.